have Martin Katz with us, heralded collaborative pianist extraordinaire, who has played with pretty much every big name ever and makes incredible art. I was fortunate enough to see Martin play a fabulous recital a couple weeks ago with Maestro Dictero, Brahms Concerto in, what is it?
It was actually a sonata for violin and piano in D minor.
Okay.
So it's only one piece, but it's a hard piece.
And it was fabulous. All right, so.
Is that loud enough?
I think it will be excellent.
Okay.
So let's just get to the big questions. Since I've been at Music Academy, one of the biggest lessons I've learned is that everyone on stage, no matter the instrument or genre, has to tell a story. And there's an inherent narrative in music. But without text, how do you tell a story?
Well, you have to remember, Michael, that I'm in the world of text, okay?
Always?
But, well, 95% of my career has been with singers.
Okay.
So whether it's opera or song, I don't have to try to figure out what I'm doing in an introduction where there are no words. Suppose I have a 10 measure introduction, but I know what you're gonna say when you come in and start singing. So that's great. When I play the Brahms that you mentioned, that doesn't have any text. There I have to imagine the feelings that the music would bring out in someone, you know? Is it mysterious? Is it shocking? Is it terrified? Is it angry? Is it romantic? Is it erotic? You know, I mean, there are like a million adjectives. But there I don't have the proof that I'm right. I always say that those of you and those of us who do work for you, we are the only people at the Music Academy or in a conservatory who know we're right all the time. Because the words validate our choices, you know. But when you hear the Moonlight Sonata, Beethoven, is that sad? Is that happy? I don't know. You could think one thing, I could think another thing.
Right. And
the pianist playing it would think another thing. There's no leg to stand on. The narrative, as you call it, is very personal.
Right.
And there's no right answer. With a song like The Maidens that you're going to sing in a little while, that's the answer. There's no...
You know exactly where to go.
I can't play feminine when you're going to sing masculine. I mean, that's not possible.
Right, but otherwise, when you play through a piece of music and there is no text in your accompanying, you have to talk to the person that you're collaborating with and say, look, the imagery that I see here is this. I feel that this song is this. How can we make everyone feel that?
Well, why do you feel that we have to have the same imagery? If there are no words, like what if you were singing a vocalese? There are a lot of vocaleses, right? Where you just go ah for 4 pages, right? You could be thinking about Mother Russia and that you want to go back there. And I could be thinking about the girl I left in China. I mean, you know.
As long as we're both on a nostalgic, as long as we're both feeling somewhat nostalgic, it's whatever it means.
Right, and we have to be together, you know, and I mean, rhythmically together.
Right.
Fine, but I don't think instrumental music without text can be pinned down like songs and arias.
But the important thing is that no matter what, everybody on stage is telling a story.
Constantly.
Okay, which brings me to my next question. So there is talk in schools, programs, over social media about a divide between acting and singing in opera. In your experience, is there a difference?
No, I mean, I was really surprised by that question when I read, he sent me a list of possible questions today. And I thought, well, where does the acting come from? The acting comes from the words. The singing comes from the words. The orchestra is feeding you the atmosphere. How can there be any dividing line between that? I just don't get that at all. I hate when the acting overdoes what the singing and the music does, and I also hate when it underdoes that.
So ideally there is no difference. To be really truly singing, you have to be acting. So to say he's a so-so actor, but he's a great singer, is really to say that he's not doing his total job.
Singer, right, exactly.
Because when I listen to the greatest singers, you know, the people that we most respect from the golden age or whatever, it's because they are getting through to me with their voice, their intention, they're acting.
Right. So I often say to a student of mine or someone I'm working with, let's make a CD of this, not a DVD of this.
Yeah.
Okay? Let's see if with your voice you can make me see what's happening, which was said to you yesterday, actually, in the class.
Yeah.
And I really agree with that.
That for me has been the biggest thing here at Music Academy, is that you have to tell a story. It's not about just how fast can you hit these notes. It's you have to say something.
You know, anybody can gesticulate, but But what's going on if I close my eyes?
Yeah.
And I'm listening to you?
Are you gonna
Can I
feel
see
it?
the gestures? No.
Right.
But can I hear that you're a sergeant? Can I hear that you're a gentleman? Can I hear that you're wounded or proud or, whatever?
And I think that, at least in my experience, that requires a degree of vulnerability in order to be able to let the audience in that much and to be able to communicate this music. So what do you think it means to be vulnerable on stage as an artist? And how do you tap into that?
I don't, you use the word vulnerable, and I would use the word risky,
Okay, I like that.
or, which may be the same thing, Michael,
Mhm.
or confrontational. I think singing is the most naked of all the musical disciplines, maybe of all the art disciplines. Because with everything else, there's something between you and the public. A violin, a piano, ballet slippers. I mean, it could be anything, but you guys, you face the audience. A lot of us don't,
Yeah.
you're sideways. You face the audience and you're showing us the inside of your body, you realize, by how you sound,
Yeah.
right? And the words, how you feel about the words. For me, that is the riskiest, automatically most vulnerable thing there is. It's like saying, please love me, all the time.
Yeah.
And what if people don't, kind of thing. But if you don't go to that risky place, I'll stick with that word.
Yeah.
If you don't go to that risky place, there's no reward
No
to be
risk,
reaped.
no risk, no reward.
Right, no pain, no gain, whatever,
Yeah.
those things. The mother bird has to kick the little baby chick out of the nest. And believe me, I don't want to be a singer because I don't want to go for a high G and hope to God that it happens. But you guys,
I've been there.
you have to do it,
Yeah.
The minute there's this little bit of self-protection,
Mhm.
it's all over. Then it's never as glorious as it could be. So it's Las Vegas, basically,
It's a gamble.
Yeah.
So something that you just said there made me think of another question. How, in your career when you were coming up, how did you handle professional rejection or dismissal?
Well, I've had very little of that, to be honest with you, and that probably sounds very immodest to your audience. But
That's pretty objective.
I was born under a really lucky star.
Or rather, could I rephrase, how do you handle periods of self-doubt?
Oh. Like every day, how do I?
Yeah, like when you're like, God,
do I know
just-
what I'm doing?
do I suck?
Can I play this? Everybody else can play this faster, louder, softer, that sort of thing.
How do you deal with that?
Wow, the tape is running and I don't have an answer.
It's okay.
I guess you have to be at the same time perfectionistic and allow yourself to not be perfect at exactly the same time. You have to shoot for perfection and know that maybe in your whole career it's going to happen 4 times, kind of thing.
Yeah.
For us who play the piano, to have a great piano, good acoustics, a singer that is singing the right music at the right time, an audience that does not have a cell phone going off or a baby
Yeah.
crying. I mean, all those things. Seriously, I've been doing this 40, 50 years. That's happened maybe 5 times in my whole career. So, but you can dine out on those. You can live off those 5 times for a very long time.
You can always go back to that.
Probably like an athlete remembers winning a gold medal even when, like Federer seems to be losing a lot now,
Yeah.
right? But
He can look back.
He can look back, man, and the
Right.
rush that he feels and the pride that he feels of having to do that. So you prop yourself up and you do it again.
What were some of those experiences for you that you look back on and you say that was just
The really
amazing?
good ones.
Yeah.
Actually, since we're here at the Music Academy, one of them was with Marilyn Horne
Really?
in New York, Carnegie Hall. It doesn't get much better than that. I had chosen the piano, so it was the piano I liked.
What did you choose?
And it was a Steinway, but I mean, they gave me 10 to choose from. Okay?
Cool.
It was a Mahler song, which maybe some of your audience know. It's called Ich bin der Welt abhanden gekommen. I have become lost to the world, but it's a very positive lost. I don't care what the world thinks anymore, because I live in my own song, in my own heaven, in my own love, and I'm out of here. It's a positive acceptance of how life ends and so forth. And she was a great Mahler singer. It just happened that night, and I swear to you, Michael, it felt like I wasn't even playing the piano. It felt like, it sounds kind of Buddhist or something, but like the music was just coming out.
Everything was one.
Yeah, with her and with me and the piano and Mahler and Ruckert who wrote the words and other stuff. And you come off the stage and you don't even feel like you did anything. you feel so humble that, at least I did, that
Yeah.
that happened. And there have been a couple other things. A really great night for me was playing for Renata Tebaldi, the wonderful soprano from 60s and 70s at La Scala, and she hadn't sung there in 14 years, and she was from Milan. So we
Really
walked out, and it started to rain flowers before she ever opened her mouth. I mean, rain flowers. So
Yeah.
by the time she started singing, I was shin deep in flowers, okay? I'm short, but that's still a lot of flowers, okay? And once you feel the love of an audience like that, you forget about you forget about what if I screw up.
Yeah.
And I was so thrilled for her to be welcomed like that. It's
You guys,
really,
you can look
I
back
hope,
on
I
this
hope
forever.
you have that.
That's,
same,
I hope so
you
as
know,
well.
it's just great. There have been, as I say, 5 or 6 of those things that have been. I also remember missing notes in various famous places that I don't want to go there. I don't want to think about that. So then I have to channel the good things too.
My first theater teacher, he said, if you ever feel like you've done a perfect performance, that's the time to retire.
Hang it up. Yeah.
Okay, so last question for you. We're
Thank
busy.
you.
We're right in the middle of the Marin Horn Song Competition right now. On your deathbed, you get to listen to
Oh my
one
God.
piece of music in its entirety on the greatest speakers ever, or have the best orchestra right in front of you, or best instruments right in front of you.
Well, you know, it's really, for those of you who are tuning into this blog, it is a real dumbass question, okay? Because when people say to you, who's your favorite composer,
Right.
what's your favorite color, you know, I mean, that's, okay, but since you're forced.
Or we could go three pieces.
Well, I'm thinking of something I would like played at my funeral.
Okay,
Does that count?
that's perfect, yeah.
Okay, there's an aria from Gluck's Orfeo, for Orfeo himself. It can be sung by a countertenor or a mezzo-soprano. And it's called Che puro ciel, what a beautiful sky. And Orpheus arrives in the Elysian fields. He's there to rescue his wife for the second time, right? And it is so serene and so transcendent. I don't know, I can't live without that piece. You know?
Baroque music is beautiful.
Yeah, really, really gorgeous. And there are probably other things, gosh.
As soon as we leave here, you'll think of
Yeah,
5 or 6.
right, exactly.
Right.
I don't want to be pinned down though.
It's a tough
I'm
question.
lucky, I always love the music that I happen to be playing right now. And even if it's a contemporary piece that I really, it took hundreds of hours to learn it, and I might hate it tomorrow, but right this minute, I have to arrange to love it, and I usually do.
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean.
Okay.
Martin, it's been such a pleasure.
I-
Thank you very much for being the very first guest.